The African Union has over the years taken more responsibility in maintaining peace and security in Africa. As part of its mandate, the continental body has deployed troops in key hotspots. The AU this year authorized troop deployment in the DRC to deal with suspected M23 rebels. Over 3,000 troops were sent in 2021 to Mozambique under the Southern African Development Community to help contain an armed insurgency in the northern province of Cabo Delgado. In West Africa, ECOWAS troops authorized by the AU have been battling Boko Haram militants for years, while in the east, AMISOM and now ATMIS forces have been helping to contain militants in Somalia. But many of the missions have struggled to combat multiple armed groups, they say, due to lack of funding.
Usually the challenges come from the operational sides, and these challenges are brought about by funding. We all know that funding will affect the effectiveness of the operations. They will affect the welfare of the troops. They will affect the quality of the humanitarian response that these peacekeeping missions will deliver.
The AU Peace Fund has an annual budget of $400 million target, but the fund is reportedly still short of the target. The United Nations contributes to 75% of the fund, but AU member states have been struggling to meet their share of 25%.
So it is important that African member states need to make their annual contributions such that the AU is able to uphold its obligations towards contributing towards its peace support operations.
We continue to need extensive support from our member states. First, I would like to call for stronger and more unified support from the Council to advance the political efforts of our operations. Such support is a prerequisite for our efforts to promote sustainable peace, where we have mandates from you to do so.
Peacekeeping troops have had mixed results on the continent. While Somalia is working towards reconstruction and its forces taking over national security, countries in the Sahel are facing a growing insurgent threat. There are fears that the existing funding gap for AU missions, if not resolved, could leave critical peace and security needs unmet. Daniel Arap Moi, CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
At least one person has been killed in the city of Beni in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Shots were fired during another protest against the United Nations peacekeeping mission on Tuesday. Protesters on motorbikes had gathered and blocked a MONUSCO convoy in Beni. In recent months, violent demonstrations against the mission have resulted in the deaths of dozens, including civilians, peacekeepers, and Congolese police. Meanwhile, in Mali, following a preliminary assessment, no casualties were reported following an attack last week on a camp for the UN peacekeeping mission there. The UN has condemned the attack in Ber.
Our peacekeeping mission in Mali is telling us that its camp in Ber in the Timbuktu region came under attack this morning. A preliminary assessment indicates no casualties, thankfully, but our colleagues say there is significant damage to their facilities. The head of the peacekeeping mission, El-Ghassim Wane, condemned the attack, which demonstrates the ongoing threat posed by terrorist groups to peacekeepers and the communities we serve in Mali.
For more on the UN peacekeeping missions on the African continent, we spoke to Dr. Ndu Nwokolo, the managing partner and chief executive at Next Year SPD, an international consulting firm working in Nigeria and the African region. Here's what he had to say.
So what we're seeing in Africa, that because of the changing nature of the conflict, especially where most of the armed groups, non-state armed groups, are equally even turning into conventional armed groups with superior arms that they are, which makes them easier for them to fight the state. Both the state authorities and the civilians are thinking that the UN mission could help to fight back, but it's not what they are there to do. They are only there to make sure that the political process leading to election, leading to possible settlement are achieved. So the implication is that the people will continue to, to think the other way, thinking that the UN peacekeeping mission is there to do what the state should do. Yes, the UN can support, but the UN is not there to enforce peace. So I think what we should be looking at is how to either change the mandate or even increase the oppression of the UN to be able to take care of, the situation in these countries. One of the options I think we should be looking at is to have a political and elite consensus. It's a big issue in most of these countries. The elite and the political class need to come together and say, we need peace in our country. How can we achieve it? That is one. Two, there is need to start working on neighborhood to sort out the neighborhood crisis and neighborhood effect. So neighborhood effect, especially the regional organizations like ECOWAS, to find a way to start mediating in most of these conflicts. I think that's the right way to go.